What up, YouTube? Man, it's your boy, the Gym Slasher, back at it again, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Muscles are all connected, right? What does that mean? What am I saying? Is that something mind unraveling that you haven't heard or known before? All of that is, with that being said, is yes, we have heard all that before. And I just want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the importance of understanding and knowing how your body works and the connection your body has to itself. When I do training, and this got inspired by a young man that I was training, a young athlete, and by young, he's about 19, getting back in college or going to college, and want to try out for the football team, for his collegiate football team for the next season. So we're on day one basically of getting back on the grind and getting his feet under him, getting his body under him, getting all that. So I'm gonna do some videos. I told him that I was gonna do it, and he was all fine with that. So there are going to be videos of that to come, and just his progression in his process. So we're going to navigate through that together. And I think it's going to be an awesome thing for him. And I'm already seeing results in just the first couple of days that we already putting stuff together. With that being said, so we were leaving off the field. It was having a conversation, and I was telling him the importance of, stretching and working out and listening to your body and how to be in tune with your body. And as I was talking with him about it, I was saying that your muscles are connected, with each other, because we was talking about soreness or minor injuries and stuff, and how to keep them minor and to eliminate that minor injury by understanding what's hurting and how to do with it. And I said, the body is not, the human body is not Legos, right? They're not just pieces. They're not robot pieces. You put together a robot and they come in, these pieces, and you got to glue them or connect them together and stuff like that. And if they break in pieces, and you can always just put them right back. With the human body, that's a little bit, it's different, right? If something is hurting here, if you don't address that here, then you can get compound injuries. You could compound the injuries because they're all connected, and this can just trail up because of compensation, physical compensation, meaning you're feeling your right calf, and then you start leaning a little bit more to your left leg. Well, then that kind of cascades to your knee, which cascades to your left quad, your left knee, all because you didn't want to handle or deal with your right ankle or right knee, right? So there's always some type of connection. So we was talking about, hamstrings and having sore, or, how do you have bad hamstrings and stuff? Well, that connection of hamstrings is generally right around your waist, your lower back, your torso, your buttocks, your quads, your groin. All of that have these tendons and nerves and muscles that are all working in conjunction with each other during that time. So, but ideally, when you have that hamstring injury, trust and believe that you probably got tight hips, and more likely you got a tight back. And how to stretch those things out, how to loosen your lower back, how to loosen your hips, and thus stretching obviously your hamstring, and how to rehab from those things. But if you don't know how your body is connected with each other, you can find yourself running into the same physical problems over and over again, right? So it's no different from a shoulder injury, and somebody that has a sprained shoulder, or you'll see how they go from shoulder to holding their necks, holding the back of their head. It can go all the way up to having headaches because there's no tendon that's not connected to something else. And if you're not paying attention to it, or if you're not addressing it as such, it will cascade into other problems. So it's always important that you listen to your body and know what connections are there. And obviously going to a physical therapist, going to the doctor, but more so the physical therapist, because they more tone into how those ligaments work, where they work at, what's important, how to rehab those and catch them early as opposed to catching them late, where now you got a shoulder, you got a neck, you got an elbow, because it's just keep trickling up and trickling down, right? So be aware of your body. Listen to your body. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose to it. Your torso, today we was doing chest, and I was telling them, even though we're doing chest, we still need to do back. And the reason why is because obviously we don't want to do an overcompensation of muscles in our front torso and lose the importance of our back muscles in our back torso and our traps and our obliques and the lower back and all of that. Those are just as important, because those can tear, because if they're weak, then what purpose is having a good front structure of our chest and not a good solid back foundation? So those things are connected, and we can't lose sight of those or forget those. We may be doing chest, but we still need to do arms. It's still an upper body workout. Now we could put an emphasis on certain muscle parts, but other muscle parts have purpose too, and they have to be focused on, but probably not as much as if you want to do that, but they're all connected. You can't forget or negate or ignore other parts, and you don't want to do that over long periods of time. One day may not seem as much, but if you're working out 4 or 5 days of the week and you got 3 chest days or 2 chest days, you start to cascade that. You see how more and more you're using just your chest and less on your back. Now, granted, there's going to be a back day, but I'm going to say the same thing on the back. Just, you still got to work on your chest. They all work in conjunction with each other, and we can't ignore or negate other muscle groups of our body, because then those things become injuries later on, and then that's going to set you all back. The name of the game is stay in the gym, stay on the field, stay on your respective sport. So you have to be in tune with your body and listening to what your body is saying, but understanding the overall being is your body is all connected with each other. It has to work in succinction with each other, and succinct, and be in sync with each other. So with that being said, who are you? What is your mission? And appreciate you for listening and following. Keep following me, and I appreciate you. Go on.